Hey friends, I just wanted to share something with you that happened yesterday. I had the opportunity yesterday in the evening to spend time with my 16-year-old daughter. And we went out and had the greatest time. We don't eat fast food in our house, but we went out last night and ate out and talked and had fun. And we ended up at the mall. And you've probably noticed the last couple of days I've worn a white linen shirt. And I thought I was going to change my wardrobe because I always wear band T-shirts and stuff. That's kind of the vibe. It's what I do. But I thought I needed to change. You ever doubt yourself a little bit? Well, I thought maybe people would take me more seriously when I'm speaking about our faith if I dress nicely in clothes. And, in the past, I know I've said that, well, Jesus doesn't look at clothes and he looks at the heart. And I think a lot of people misunderstand that because I get quite a few comments from people who they appreciate what I'm saying, they just don't really appreciate the way I'm dressed. And that kind of got to me the last couple of days. So I wore white linen shirts and changed my look a little bit. But, yesterday when I was out with my daughter, I had kept that linen shirt on all day yesterday, and when I was out with her, that's the way I was dressed. And she said, "Dad, I just don't get your look." And I thought, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Well, my dad wears band T-shirts and tie T-shirts and T-shirts with Mr. Rogers and things like that." She said, "That's my dad. My dad's not the guy that wears the white linen shirt, and you should just be yourself." And I'm like, I said, you think so? And she said, yeah, yeah. And I love that I have an identity in my children's eyes. I'm a good man, and I love them a lot, and I take their opinion to heart. And they reminded me that, I think sometimes God speaks through children because they just don't have the same filter that we have as adults. And I appreciated that. So here I am back with Def Leppard on today, and tomorrow it'll be another band. In fact, I was so inspired by the conversation I had with my daughter. We picked out a couple more band shirts, so there'll be some Guns N' Roses and some My Chemical Romance and all that. But you just gotta understand that we shouldn't judge. I was judging myself, saying, "Oh, you're wearing these band shirts, maybe people would listen more." And my daughter made a good point. She's like, "Dad, people are listening to you. You have over 500,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel. Millions of people every day listen to your podcast. People care less about what's on your T-shirt than you do." And I think she's absolutely right. So first I want to thank God for speaking to me through my daughter, and I want to thank my daughter for loving me enough to remind me who I am. And I'm going to continue to show up here every day, and I just want to be transparent with you and as real as I possibly can. I talk about how to resolve doubts and how to be a better man, a better husband, a better parent. Do you know how you do all that? You do it all by just being you. Just be you and not worrying about what other people think. So I'm going back to the band shirts, and that's just who I am, and it's who I'm going to be. It doesn't diminish my faith, and it doesn't diminish my character in any way either. I just am going to be me moving forward so that I'm the realest me I can possibly be for you, because I think that's important to you. And I want to thank you for being here for me every day, because when we do this and have these talks every single day, you make my life better through this whole process. And I hope I'm adding some value to your life as well. Cool. Just wanted to get that off my chest and talk to you about that a little bit. I had a great time with my daughter yesterday, though. We went to some stores and she got some shirts and stuff like that. It was fun. We went to the candle store, and by the time we left the candle store, I couldn't even, I had smelled so many things. We were at the candle store yesterday, though. I gotta say, I really appreciate being out with my daughters when we were at the candle store. I have a disability. I limp, and sometimes I messed up a little bit. I backed up to get under a vent. There was a vent in the ceiling blowing down cooler, and I thought, oh, that feels nice. Not paying attention to my surroundings, I backed up, and I knocked like half of an entire display over. And as I listened to it fall, I was calculating in my mind every clink, every clunk was, and what that was going to cost me. This was kind of a pricey place, and I thought, oh boy, I'm glad I brought my credit card with me, right? And it's really amazing because my daughter didn't even think twice about it. She just stepped over and started picking it up, and I was so embarrassed and red, and I felt like such an idiot, and just in stride. I guess I've been her dad for 16 years. She knows me, and I'm not hiding my disability from her in any way, that's for sure. But she just walks over, starts picking it up. Then a nice girl from the store, and this was Bath and Body Works, and they have awesome candles and stuff. But she comes over and starts picking it up, and they both just started picking up, and I'm apologizing, and they both just look at me and say, "Don't worry about it. It's not a problem." And that's kind of the vibe we have in our house, I guess, right? We just take care of each other, and I'm glad that I've passed that on to my kids so well, because she just helped pick it up. She thanked the girl, we both apologized, and we walked out and continued to have a nice day. We did end up just coming home and all sitting on the couch as a family, watching shows on TV, and it was a lot of fun. And probably the best part we had in the whole evening was when we were back as a family, because we're nuts, and we gossip and we have fun together. And Sarah and I had stories to tell my wife and my younger daughter, and we had some adventures when we were out. It was pretty cool. At one point we were in a reptile store, and we walked through and looked at all the reptiles. And I told the lady at the front when we left, she was so nice, and she said, "Thank you for coming in." And I said, "You know what? You should charge admission to come into this place." I didn't realize pet stores like that with reptiles were so interesting, but it was better than anything I've ever seen at the zoo. They had incredible stuff in there, and it just blew me away. But we had a lot of fun, and I cherish those afternoons and evenings. I'm so busy that I rarely get to step away. So when I do step away, I like to step away in a way that's most meaningful in my life. And for me, that's spending time with my family. And I love to spend time with my daughters because now they're older. Like when you're 16, you have formulated opinions. You're basically who you're going to be when you're an adult for the most part. And it's not like when they were kids and it was more me doing all the talking and them doing listening and asking cute questions. Now they're a full human, I almost said full human being. They've always been a full human being, but they have these amazing opinions, and it's incredible to just sit down with them and see who they've become and what their opinions are on events and anything at all. It's just so interesting. And you know what? When I looked across the table yesterday at my daughter, she had on a band t-shirt and glasses similar to mine, and I thought, you know what? I am her dad. This is wonderful. It's so amazing to be a parent, isn't it? It's like the gift that just keeps on giving. I don't want them to get any older. I loved them when they were kids, but I'm getting more comfortable with the fact that they're growing up and becoming adults. And that's a whole nother chapter that's coming. And I'm really looking forward to it. They inspired all this whole YouTube thing, massive, huge YouTube channel, whatever we have going on here. They inspired all that. And they've inspired a lot of good things in my life. So the decision to have kids for me was Probably one of the best decisions I ever made. But before I made that decision, I had to make the decision to get married. And I tell you what, the one I picked, my wife, she is truly a blessing. And she's sitting right here. She sits here through every video. You know, we've done about 1,500 videos on this channel, and it's taken us 7,400 and some odd tries to get that many videos done. Because we don't edit any videos. We don't have any fancy music or anything. It's just real raw. I'm sitting here talking, and some people listen. Some people are probably like, oh my goodness, it's that guy again, click. But but I tell you what, you know, it's amazing. And I mess up, and when I mess up, I just turn the camera off, turn it back on, usually right away, and just start from the top, and we just do it all over again. Our journey with Jesus today that took us to St. Paul, Minnesota, I actually got through the whole thing, the whole story I had told. And at the end, my wife said, I was trying to get your attention, but instead of saying foot wash station, you said Fort Washington station. And I think that's different. And I said, yeah, it totally is. So, you know, and so I had to go back, and I'm like, well, we do it right. Where anytime we do a video, I do it thinking that God is my producer, and he's going to listen to that video. And what would he think? And I think that God likes something a little closer to the best that I can do. So I start over quite a bit. I mean, you divide 7,400 by 1,400, and you get an average of whatever that is, 3 videos, 4 tries per video. It's a lot some days. In fact, some days it's taken me 23 tries to just get one video done. I don't know if it's my brain damage or if I just have so many things I want to say and so many ideas in my head, they don't all come out my mouth at the same time appropriately. Sometimes I got to remind myself to take a deep breath and just let the words come out, you know, one at a time. So today we went roller skating, and that was a lot of fun. Took my 13-year-old daughter out today to go roller skating because I had spent time with my oldest daughter last night, and I'd feel guilty if I didn't give them both equal opportunity, and I just want to just spend the same amount of time with both of them. But spending time with each of them individually is different than spending time with them together. And I like both, don't get me wrong, but I get something out of each of those different circumstances. So I don't roller skate, you know, I'm kind of not a roller skater for obvious reasons, you know, but I watch her roller skate, and I'm like, you probably think I'm crazy, you know, because I took her a week ago to go roller skating also, and every time she comes around the rink, I sit along the side and watch her skate, right? I wave, and I'm like, I bet you think I'm goofy that I'm always waving at you. And she looks me in the eyes and says, Dad, I always wave back. You know what? She does. That's my favorite thing. Someday I'll probably be an old man sitting on a porch somewhere in a rocking chair, and those will be my favorite memories, right? The memories of when we waved at each other at the roller rink, went to the mall and you told me to take off the fancy clothes and put on a band t-shirt. My kids remind me of who I am, right? And that's really cool. So I'm thankful to them for keeping me true to myself, because that's the best thing ever. So like I always say, hug your family. Why? Because they love you. And don't forget, they do love you. Well, I got a Saturday evening to spend with my family. We've got some shows we're going to watch, and it'll just be a continuation of last night, I guess. We joke around and laugh so hard, sometimes I almost fall off the couch. You wouldn't believe us. We're like a fraternity house. It's crazy. We laugh and have a good time, and these are my favorite moments. So I'm going to go do that. You should think about doing that with your family. And don't forget, I care about you as much as I care about them. And that being said, I will be back tomorrow, okay? Take care, friends, and have a beautiful day. God bless you. Bye-bye.